All right, welcome to Chapter 2 of The Adventures of Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. Collodi! If you want a straight reading of this book, it's on YouTube. There's a couple of versions. If you're listening to me read a book, it's because you want something different. My idea would just be to annotate it. Chapter 2, Master Cherry makes a present of the piece of wood to his friend Geppetto, who takes it to make for himself a wonderful puppet that shall know how to dance and to fence and to leap like an acrobat. So Geppetto wants a puppet where he can entertain people with it. So it contradicts later when Geppetto wants Pinocchio to go to school. But he didn't know that Pinocchio was going to be alive. Let's see, Master Cherry, he's called that because he has a red nose. Probably due to alcoholism. Okay, they drink lots of wine in Italy. At that moment, someone knocked at the door. "Come in," said the carpenter, without having the strength to rise to his feet. I just read a book. In the Pinocchio versions I've read, the readers do the voices. I could give up. A lively little old man immediately walked into the shop. His name was Geppetto, a beggar. But when the boys of the neighborhood wished to tease him, they called him by the nickname of Polendina, because his yellow wig resembled a pudding made of corn. Yes, Geppetto in the book wears a wig. I don't know if he's bald or just balding. Geppetto was very fiery. Woe to him who called him Polendina. He became furious, and there was no holding him. So Geppetto is, by today's standards, a temper hound. He gets mad easily. "Good day, Master Antonio," said Geppetto. "What are you doing there on the floor?" "I'm teaching the alphabet to the ants." Much good may that do you. Any Italian voice, I just do my Mario voice. "What has brought you to me, neighbor Geppetto?" "My legs, but to tell you the truth, Master Antonio, I have come to ask a favor of you because I am a poor bastard beggar. I beg from my friends, my family, everybody." "Here I am, ready to serve you," replied the carpenter sarcastically, because he was sick of Geppetto asking him for stuff. This video is edited. It's YouTube. It's not what I really want to say, because someone in the advertising department is uptight. This morning an idea came into my head. Now, is a word dangerous? Yeah, apparently on YouTube it is. Let us hear it. I thought I would make a beautiful wooden puppet, but a wonderful puppet that should know how to dance, to fence, and to leap like an acrobat. With this puppet, I would travel about the world to earn a piece of bread and a glass of wine. What do you think of it? So Geppetto is kind of a blockhead himself. He's poor, and he thinks a stupid puppet is going to make him some money. And what does he want? Just a piece of bread and a glass of wine. So Geppetto is an alcoholic who has probably drank all his savings away. "Bravo, Polendina," exclaimed the same little voice, and it was impossible to say where it came from. See, I don't have to imitate like a kid's voice. I just read the story. Hearing himself called Polendina, and I have problems with typesetting punctuation with this edition, Geppetto became red with anger, and turning to the carpenter, he said in a fury, "Why do you insult me?" "Who insults you? You called me Polendina." "It was not I." "Are you saying then that it was I?" "It was you, I say." "No, yes, no, yes." and becoming more and more angry. From words they came to blows, and flying at each other they bit and fought and scratched. See, I would put commas there. So, Watermill Classic out of New Jersey. They're not really into punctuation too much. When the fight was over, Master Antonio was in possession of Geppetto's yellow wig, and Geppetto discovered that the gray wig belonging to the carpenter had remained between his teeth. "Give me back my wig," screamed Master Antonio, "and you return mine, and let us make friends." The two old men having each recovered his own wig, so you have two old alcoholics, both wearing wigs. I guess that's amusing to kids. Shook hands and swore that they would remain friends to the end of their lives. "Well then, neighbor Geppetto," said the carpenter, to prove that peace was made, "what is the favor that you wished of me?" "I want a little wood to make my puppet. Will you give me some?" Master Antonio was delighted and immediately went to the bench and fetched the piece of wood that had caused him so much fear. But just as he was going to give it to his friend, the piece of wood gave a shake, and wriggling violently out of his hand, struck with all of its force against the shins of poor Geppetto. And Geppetto was poor, that's for sure. "Ah, is that the curious way in which you give presents, Master Antonio? You have almost lamed me." All right, so this is a story designed to entertain. "I swear to you that it was not I." "Then you would have it that it was I?" "The wood is entirely to blame. I know that it was the wood, but it was you who hit my legs with it." "I did not hit you with it." "Liar! Geppetto, don't insult me, or I will call you Polendina." So, Geppetto's kind of an alcoholic jerk who gets into fistfights with neighbors whom he begs from. Ass. Oh, they said the word ass in a children's book. Polendina. Donkey. Polendina. Baboon. Polendina. On hearing himself called Polendina for the third time, Geppetto, blind with rage. All right, so men get angry in this book. Pinocchio ends up getting angry too. Fell upon the carpenter and they fought desperately. When the battle was over, Master Antonio had 2 more scratches on his nose, and his adversary had 2 buttons fewer on his waistcoat. Their accounts being thus squared, they shook hands and swore to remain good friends for the rest of their lives. Geppetto carried off his fine piece of wood and, thanking Master Antonio, returned limping to his house. So Norm Macdonald can tell a joke about drinking, fighting, and trucking. And it can be on YouTube, but I can't repeat the joke because it is so foul that YouTube would ban my account. So that's the position I'm in. Well, I can't really talk about this book in the way that it should be talked about. One question is, why did Geppetto make a little boy as opposed to a little girl? Okay. All right. There's a lot to think about with this book. What is Geppetto thinking about? I have no idea. So, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just trying to read the book. I've read lots of books in my life. So, who knows if this thing was translated correctly. And this is what I do with, like, books that are crap sometimes. I just throw them because they suck sometimes.